I'm 82. I guess I started being serious in the 10th grade in high school. I was very lucky, because in the 11th grade, painting I had done in the 10th grade won the National Scholastic High School contest. And the painting was reproduced in Life magazine. Well, two of my paintings were in an article on the National Scholastic High School show. And then I went on for my senior year in high school. Then came World War II, which disrupted everything. So there was kind of a 3-year lost period. In 1950, I went back to college, NYU Institute of Fine Arts, got a degree in art history. At the same time, I was working as a graphic designer, and that lasted roughly till 1958. I got a Fulbright fellowship to go to Italy. The attempt at precision comes from those years I spent doing graphic design. Graphic design then was all, you had the head man who did the layout, designed the page, designed whatever was happening on the page. And then people like me would have to draft it. Everything was done with ruling pens and compasses and rulers, Pico rulers. You had to make it look like it was done by machine. You got rid of yourself. It meant touching up a lot, spending a lot of time with white poster paint, touching up crooked edges or ragged edges. I mean, the abstract expressionist thing was the big influence on everybody in New York during the late 1950s and into the 60s. And that was existential. You could never be finished. It could always be different. You could always do it from a slightly different angle, a different combination of brush marks and so forth. A de Kooning painting is never complete. And we all worked like that. My paintings were also getting clearer and clearer. I wasn't searching anymore. I was coming up with definitive pictures of naked people. No hesitations. Some of these objects began creeping in. Mostly it's been Americana, like that Mickey Mouse. I have several Mickey Mouses, who's a great icon. But there are a number of other things. I collected a lot of stuff. When I moved into this place, which was much bigger than my previous studio, but it was about 25 years ago, the stuff that had been sort of pushed into corners, because my studio was small, suddenly was all over the place. And I simply began incorporating them in the setups with the models. Most of the positions that the models take come from them. It's what makes, they have to be comfortable and more or less interested in what they're doing. Strictly interested in the way ordinary people look. And that became part of the kind of philosophy. in a sense, to paint the ordinary, the everyday. Not to go out of my way to make them tell some kind of story, to be actors in a drama or a comedy. Not to do anything satirical with them, and not to get involved in their personal lives. Models were not the fashion world models, to say the least. I mean, these were quite ordinary people, nice, healthy, and that was it. I never really got into that thing of doing beautiful people. And having been in the Army for 3 years, you lose all sense of personal identification or personal modesty. I go to museums. I like museums. For me, it's not over. I know the whole idea that came up, it's dead white European man's art. I never bought into that. If anything, I'm trying to perpetuate it. The trouble is, with painting, you can take in a painting in 2 seconds, and that's the time most people who go through a museum or a gallery give to it. They stick their head in the front door, and if they decide to go in further, they might look at 15 paintings in 3 minutes. There's not much room for subtlety or to get involved with subtlety. There's always some kind of visual grammar at work, and I think it's wrong to pretend that it doesn't exist. I mean, if you just think of the way language is, it's been very carefully developed over centuries, structured. There's all kinds of rules, and even the critics who hate the kind of work that I do because it looks dead white, male, European, so forth, use the English language with a great deal of care and follow all the rules of grammar. I'm just transposing that to what I think are the rules of painting. They were never really stated anywhere or taught to me, but it's what I've deduced from looking at older works of art. For me, it's easy now to decide when the painting is finished, when all the parts are complete, brought up to the same level. Like the woman's face in that painting is not yet, it's just the underpainting. Other parts of the painting are more complete. I've gone over them several times. I'm happy. I never expected to live this long, or to keep doing this long.